The return of manhood, you feel it in the air. No simp moves here, nah, move with flair. Her debit card works too, so don't get it twisted. Deal with women strictly on the terms are listed. Keep it simple, boy, learn the truth. The weak play games, but the strong bring proof. She can't shake a man who owns his terms. It's returning to fire and the world gon' burn. Tag it 20, you know the name. Dropping lessons on a name, playing the same. No pedestal, nah, don't elevate low. A queen only follows when the king says go. Too many masked up trying to impress. Losing themselves, caught up in the stress. Be the man, don't fall for the crowd. Speak your truth, strong will, stand proud. If she's in your life, she earns a spot, but a king never bends for a second thought. No validation needed, power on reserve. Rule your world, let her match your nerve. Yeah, manhood restored, the king's in the game. Cags acting 20, remember the name. Strictly on your terms, you know what to do. Her debit card works, but the throne's on you.
You can't handle the truth.
What up, what up, what up? All right, hold on real quick. Let me plug the joint right quick. Women require the least from the men they like the most. Women require the least from the men they like the most. Now, I do have a short clip, about 2 minutes long, something like that. I'm going to play for you guys. And that clip actually sparked the title, right? So when you listen to this clip, you're going to know exactly where I got the fucking title from, right? Women require the least from the men they like the most. Now, before we get into this, gentlemen and any ladies that might be a fly on the wall, like, share, and subscribe. At the bare minimum, can you like the stream? It's free. It don't cost you nothing. You ain't got to compromise anything for it. Just like the stream. Let me shout out some folks. 100% Me. What up, fam? June Sports. Uncle Guns. Appreciate you, sir. True Savage. What's good? Gil Poems. Corey. What's good, fam? No Data. What's good? Cardio King. Baselli. Boxing Plug Day. What up, Boxing? Who else we got up in here? Ahmad Rashad. G is great. Alexander Jackson. Who else we got up in here? Efosa. What's good, Efosa? Steve O, baby. Okay. No Data. I don't know if I said, yeah, I think I said your name. All right, fellas. Again, what are we talking about? Women require the least from the men they like the most. Young John, the Sauce God, Blastomatic Diesel was good. Now, before I get into this clip, okay, and before we do any of that, if you have a question, please put a Q in the chat, followed by your question. There's some NBA games on right now that I'm missing, so I want to get back to that, so I'm not going to be here that long. So if you have a question, it will behoove you to put a Q in the chat, followed by your question sooner rather than later. And shout out to June Sports. Already blessing me already, man. Appreciate you with the 199. Appreciation for the game, Monk. Yeah, no doubt. So before we get into the clip, let me say this, right? And this is the overall point I want to make with this live stream. I want you men to get to the point where you're the guy that the lady is talking about in the video, right? She's talking about two different types of guys. So when she makes the quote that she makes, which is the title you're seeing now, I want you guys to get to the point where if you're not that guy, don't deal with that woman. I want y'all to get to that point where if you're not the guy that she's describing, where she says, when we really like you, we don't really require a whole lot. If you're not that guy, don't deal with that woman, right? The homie with the $4.99, appreciate you. Fit and Life Entertainment, appreciate you, fam. So here's the thing. This is what I would like to do, right? I would like to help men uncomplicate their lives, right? A lot of us, we're walking around, right? Your life is a lot more complicated than it should be. And the reason why it's complicated is because you are inviting riffraff into your life. You are inviting disruption from problematic women into your life. I'm trying to help you uncomplicate your life and make sure that you only deal with women, right, who serve a purpose in your life, right? Women who bring a smile to your face, right? Right. I'm trying to get you to that point, and you leave all the other women on the side and let them deal with all the other foolish men, right? So let's go ahead and get into this clip, y'all. Again, if you have a question, put a Q in the chat followed by your question. Let's go.
So this guy asked me, what do a man do if a woman is gaslighting him? Like, what do a man do if a woman is gaslighting him? I said, gaslighting you? I said, sir, I'm going to keep this real short, simple, sweet. If a woman is gaslighting a man, she don't like you. Fellas, the only time a woman is going to constantly have her hand out and come directly to you and tell you off top that her bills is due and her hair need done and her nails need done and her kids need this and what's your cash app. And if a woman comes at you immediately, she don't like you. Because when a woman likes a man, she requires the least. Women require the least from the men they like the most. Usually when a woman likes a man, she's usually trying to get out of his way. She's trying not to get on his nerves. She's kind of like timid. She's shy. Everything is he. Like a lot of girls got a problem with a man texting WYD. If she has a problem with you texting WYD, she don't like you. Because if a man who she likes text her WYD, it's going to still be nothing, period. It's only when they don't like you, WYD is an issue. Oh my God, like I wish she stopped texting me what you doing. Like, why is we not on dates? I can't stand what you doing. Nah, you just don't like him. When a woman likes a man, he can literally plan a picnic outside with no food. And we're going to sit right there and say, at least you brought the blanket. It's all right. I had a big breakfast, so it's okay. I appreciate everything. Try doing that and she don't like you. Matter of fact, she's not even going on a picnic with a man she don't like. The man that she don't like is the man that she want him to pay $250 or better for her plate alone. No, I'm going to be realistic. Probably like $100. She want a $100 plate on her own. Moral of the story, fellas, if a woman likes you, it doesn't cost that much to date her. It only starts to get real pricey and expensive if she don't like you like that. When a woman really likes a man, his presence is enough. At that point, we like, well, I just like being around him and we don't really got to spend that much. So yeah, and don't think it's going to get better because it's not. So if you think that if I keep spending, she eventually will come around and like me, she might, but she not going to like you. She just going to like what you do for her. So don't even try to worry about fixing that problem. Just simply get out of there. She don't like you.
I mean, damn, I could just end the live stream right now. I mean, there's really nothing for me to say. I mean, she said it all. And, you know, every now and again, right, I need to find these clips where women are trying to help guys out, right? Because on the internet, right, all we see is guys complaining about the shit that women say. Right. But when women say some real shit that actually help men out, we don't hear enough guys talk about that shit. We hear guys talk about the shit that they don't like. Right. So what did Shorty say towards the end of her diatribe? She said, your presence is enough. Shout out to the homie. Furman out of Dallas, Walking His Ways, Impact Voice Podcast. Okay, I told y'all, you know, he got a YouTube channel. He also got a heavy presence on Facebook. So if y'all would kindly, you know, go check the homie out. You know what I'm saying? Greatly appreciate it. Shout out to you, fam. So she said, his presence is enough. And that's where I want to get you guys to, where some of you guys, not all you guys, some of you guys are all right, but there are some of you listening right now where you need a shot in the arm. You know what I'm saying? You need a kick in the ass to get you to the point where you raise the bar when it comes to your standards, when it comes to how women respond to you, when it comes to how women, deal with you, right? And what does she say? If a woman really like you, you can text WID. She's just happy that she got a text. Look, let me tell you guys something. There will be women that I would first meet, and I might leave a text message, or I might leave like a voice note. And these are women that I've known for like a week or two, right? And they would tell me, oh my God, I read your text message like 20 times. Every time I see it, I just smile from ear to ear. And that's some real shit, because when a woman really likes you and that phone notification pings and she see that it's from you, she's just happy that she's even on your mind. She is happy that she's even a thought in your fucking brain. She's happy. She's elated, right? And what did she say? She was all giddy. Like, that's what she's doing. That's how girls be acting. When they meet that guy that they really feeling, that's how they be acting. Giddy, like little schoolgirls and shit, right? So if you're dealing with a woman and she ain't got that kind of energy, my brother, leave her alone, right? All of this, she don't know me that well. She ain't comfortable yet. I got to build rapport. No. Now, can you build rapport with a woman over time and take her out on multiple dates? And that might lead to you guys, fucking and maybe seeing each other. Yeah, that happens all the time. But what happens is, I want guys to understand something. We got a question right here. I'm going to answer your question in just a moment. But this is what I want guys to understand. Okay, and I talked about this before. Now, peep what Shorty said in the video. She says his presence is enough. That means her compensation for having sex with this man, her compensation for being in this man's physical presence, is him simply saying, come over, I want to see you. That's it. His compensation is simply him being available because she really wants to see him. That's it. When a woman really isn't feeling you, your compensation is a bunch of phone calls, responding to her texts all day when she's at work and she's bored or she's stuck in traffic, right? I had a client tell me that happened to him. He was at the crib. The chick he just met about a week or so before that called him on the phone, and she literally told him, I'm stuck in traffic and I'm bored. Talk to me. And he didn't want to talk to her. And then she got upset, right? So what happens is when women require all these different things from you, what it is their attraction for you isn't that strong, but you seem like the type of guy that might be cool, right? You might be, easy to talk to, right? So now they have all of these requirements of you where you got to take them out on multiple dates first. You got to spend some non-sexual time with them. But here's the problem. And here's the problem that many men run into. Most men run into this problem. When you start doing all of that extra shit, all of these fucking dates and shit, all of these long-ass phone calls about nothing, and then she finally decides to give you some ass, what happens is all of that shit you was doing, it becomes part of the compensation package. Meaning, when she has sex with you going forward, it's always going to be tied to something you have to do first. It's always going to be tied to you giving her non-sexual attention first. It's always going to be tied to dates and trips. It's always going to be tied to you buying something or doing something of that nature. It's always going to be tied to that. Why do you think guys get into relationships and women stop having sex with those guys? And then those women tell those guys, I don't feel like you take me out enough. We don't go on trips like we used to. The reason why they're doing that is because the sex was always tied to all that extra shit that they did. So now the woman is looking at the guy like, you're not compensating me. So what you ended up with was a relationship where the sex was negotiated. The sex is not only negotiated, though it's bartered, in exchange of goods and services, but it's also rationed to you. When a woman really likes you, she ain't trying to ration no sex to you. Look, let me tell you something. When a woman is sexually attracted to you, if you want to fuck 7 days a week, she wants to fuck 7 days a week. But then, sometimes shit happens. People get sick and all that other shit. But what I'm saying is, she wants it when you want it. Right? And what did she say? She said when women, when they really, really feeling the guy, they don't want to get in his way. I need guys to understand that. When a woman is really feeling you, she goes out of her way not to bring drama your way. She goes out of her way to make sure she doesn't say and or do anything that can fuck up her access to you. I need guys to understand that. When a woman is really, really feeling you, she goes out of her way to make sure she doesn't say or do anything that could potentially rub you the wrong way and fuck up her access to you. When a woman isn't really feeling you, what typically happens? It's the guy that's going out of his way to make sure that he still has access to her. It's a role reversal, right? And what typically happens is when a woman isn't really feeling you, you're the one who's mostly invested in a situation. You're the one who's mostly invested. She isn't, right? When a woman is really feeling you, she's extremely invested because she wants it to work. You know what I'm saying? And bear in mind, this is important. It has to be a woman who is sexually attracted to you now. Now, it has to be a woman where there was an immediate, genuine liking for, or where she's like, man, I'm feeling this guy. I like everything about him, the way he looks, the way he smells, the way he dresses, the way he talks, the sound of his voice. I'm really feeling this guy. And those type of women, they will have the mindset, I hope he likes me like I like him. If you take them out on a date, their mindset is going to be, I don't want to say or do anything that's going to ruin my chances of seeing this man again. So guess what she's going to do? She's not going to flake. She's not going to be late. And if she is going to be late, she's going to have the courtesy to reach out to you to let you know she's running late. Why? Because she doesn't want to fuck it up. Right? When a woman is really feeling you, they're way more thoughtful and considerate of your time. Why? Zach, why would a woman who is really feeling you be very considerate and thoughtful of your time? Because they want your time. And they know if they're not considerate and thoughtful of your time, they don't get your time. Right? So for all you dudes, y'all be trying to get these chicks to come see you, and they hitting you with the maybes. I don't know. I'll let you know. Number one, they're not sexually attracted to you. That's one. Two, they're not really feeling you. Three, what you're offering is not the right compensation for them. So if you tell a woman, for instance, if you say, hey girl, let's go grab what's that shit called? I can't even think of the words on the tip of my tongue. But let's say you just tell a woman, let's go grab a slushie or something. I can't even think what I want to say. Right? A woman who is feeling you, wherever you want to go, she's there. Wherever you want to go. I told you guys, I've dealt with women who called me up and wanted to see me, and I said, well, right now I'm running some errands. Can I come with you? And I'm literally running errands. I'm running around picking up dry cleaning, going to the post office, and a woman is just happy to be there. And she's the one offering, hey, you want me to get us lunch? She's offering, because she's just, I want to see this guy so bad. I don't care where we're at, what we're doing. As long as I'm with him, all is right with the world. Fuck with those chicks. Leave the other chicks alone. Fuck with them. Okay, so hold on real quick. I know we had a question. All right, so he says, is there a balance between just being present and maintaining attraction, or is maintaining attraction about presence? Well, here's the thing about attraction, right? Okay, and I made videos. I don't know if I got the video on this channel, because on my old channel, it got deleted. My old channel got deleted, and I had a video on that channel. I might have to do a new one. And I was talking about maintaining the momentum of attraction. Maintaining the momentum of attraction, right? A lot of guys have difficulties maintaining the momentum of attraction because they're inconsistent, right? If you want to kill a woman's attraction for you, all you got to do is be inconsistent. And that will fuck up some shit, right? So maintaining the momentum of attraction, if you got a woman that's really, really fucking with you, she's really into you, you don't have to reinvent the wheel. All you got to do is the shit you've been doing. That's all you got to do. This is why it's very, very important that you introduce your most authentic self to women. Take off the mask. Don't be a phony. Don't try to pretend to be someone you're not. Be as genuine, authentic, and sincere as possible, right? It's easy to be consistent when you're you. But when you're trying to pretend to be someone that you're not, you're saying things you typically don't say, you're trying to act like you like the woman more than you do and all this other shit, eventually the mask is going to come off. Eventually, the momentum of attraction that you built is going to come crashing down, right? Because you can only be fake for so long. You know what I'm saying? And this is why, again, and let me just say this. This is why when you first meet women, be mindful of what you introduce to them. Right? So for all you guys that are hopeless romantics and you like to do romantic shit, be careful of when you introduce it. And I say that for this reason. Anything you introduce to women that they like, they get spoiled easily. Women are like children in that regard. They get spoiled easily. It doesn't take women, look, it don't take much to spoil a woman, right? So when you start introducing things and women begin to really, really like what you introduce, and you can't maintain the consistency of that thing that you introduce, you're going to create drama in your situation. And that can fuck up the momentum of attraction. Because you got to understand that attraction can build. Just like attraction can build, it can also decrease. Right? It can build, but it can also decrease. But the key thing is consistency and timing. Be mindful of timing. When you introduce it, even the spending the night with chicks. I'm not spending the night anytime soon with women because women get spoiled with that shit. Zach, why would women get spoiled with spending the night with a man? Because that, look, let me tell y'all something. I need you guys to understand something. For a lot of women, that's a big deal, especially if they really like you, right? And the reason why it's a big deal is because falling asleep with someone, that's a very vulnerable thing. I don't know if a lot of y'all look at it like that. It's a very vulnerable thing to fall asleep with someone lying next to you, especially if you don't know them that well. You fall asleep, right? So for a lot of women, that represents non-sexual intimacy, right? He fucked the shit out of me, and then I fell asleep in his arms, and he rubbed my hair while I had my head on his chest. Women love that shit, especially from a man that they are sexually attracted to and they like him. When I say like him, I'm talking about beyond just sex. Yes, they're sexually attracted to him. Yes, they like having sex with him. But for them, they like him a little bit more than that. It's more than just sex, right? They feeling them. So for them, they're going to covet the taking showers with them, spending the night, sharing a meal together. You know, you're at the crib, the fucking lights are low, you're sharing a meal. Women love that shit. And I'm not telling you guys not to introduce it. I'm just telling you, don't introduce that shit too soon. Because here's the thing. And I got a client right now, right? And I hope he's watching this. I literally just got off the phone with him probably about an hour ago. Oh, about 45 minutes ago. Right? And I hope you don't mind. No one knows who you are. So, but he has a similar situation where he's dealing with this woman. And, you know, he introduced, because he's looking to be in a relationship. So he told her out the gate, he's looking to be in a relationship. Guys, stop telling women that. Stop telling women you're looking to be in a relationship. And I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to tell you why in a minute. But he told her that. So out the gate, he's already introducing certain things that you would introduce to a woman that you're dating, where there's the potential relationship on the horizon. And now he's having buyer's remorse because the sexual chemistry ain't there. Y'all feel what I'm saying? This is why you got to be mindful of what you introduce and when you introduce it, because you don't know. Yeah, you like the sex now. In 3 months, 4 months, are you going to like the sex? In 3 months, 4 months, is she going to be consistent with what she's shown you? But here you are investing all of this shit in a situation, and you don't know if she can be consistent with what it is you need her to be consistent with. But not only that, you don't know if there's going to be something that goes on with her that makes you want to fall back. And now that you've introduced all of this shit, you're having buyer's remorse. Like, you know, I like her, she's cool, but I really don't like spending time with her like I used to. So now you're looking to get out of it. Okay, you're looking for a way to still have access to the sex, but now you want to take away all the dates. You want to take away the Netflix and chilling. You want to take away the spending the night. You want to take away all that non-sexual shit because you ain't feeling her no more. And I'm here to tell you, women aren't going to let you do that. The moment you get them used to that and you try and take it back, boy, you're going to have drama in your life. So when I told you guys earlier, I'm trying to help you uncomplicate your shit. There's a way you can deal with women without that drama. Just be mindful of what you're doing and when you decide to do it. Be very mindful of that, right? But also know what you want out the gate. So I'm answering your question. I hope that answers your question, homie, right? The maintaining of attraction is simply just being consistent. And I would also say this, be in the moment. Be in the moment, right? And what I mean by be in the moment is this. When you very first meet a woman for the first time, right? Be honest about what it is you want to do. Be forthright, be forthcoming, be very intentional with what it is you want to do, right? And all you're doing is you're being in the moment. And you're guiding the conversation where you ultimately wanted to go. It doesn't matter where the woman wants it to go. What she wants is irrelevant if it's not what you want. Okay, let me say that shit again. What the woman wants is irrelevant if it's not what you want, right? So guide the conversation or the interaction where you ultimately want it to go. And if she's feeling you, she's going to follow you. No hesitation, no resistance, none of that. It's going to be easy, like a fucking easy button, right? So you're in the moment. If you want to set up a date, set up a date. When you go out on that date, all you're doing is you're stringing together another moment. It's another moment. If you guys are still feeling each other after the second date, boom, see each other a third time, so forth and so on. And all you're doing is stringing together moments, and you're staying within the moment, meaning you're not looking too far ahead into the future. Don't look too far ahead into the future. The only future you need to look into is the next day you guys are going to get together. That's as far into the future as you should be looking, right? So if you plan on seeing her 7 days from now, that's as far in the future as you need to look when it comes to her. 7 days, not 2 months. I wonder what it's going to be like in 3 months. Don't even think about that shit. Which brings me to you guys telling women you want a relationship out the gate. Let me tell you why that's foolish. Let me tell you why that's foolish. So, for those of you who watch the Pineapple Show, the Pineapple Reaction Show, or the reverse pineapple joint that myself, 1950, and Steve do, what you find is when these women are talking about what it is they're looking for, inevitably, the guys that call in, they will try and find commonality with those women, right? They'll try to find similarities, and they'll try and use those things as the basis for conversation, right? So basically, the woman is giving the guy the blueprint of what she likes, right? Now, here's the problem with that, right? Just because a woman is telling you the type of man that she's looking for, or her interest and hobbies and passions, none of those things have anything to do with turning her on sexually. These are all things that are outside the spectrum of sex, right? So a lot of guys in their mind, they're trying to get to the sex by getting to this other shit that she says she likes, right? So let me bring it home with this. When you tell women you're looking for a relationship, I want guys to think about this. If you were seeing a woman and you identified her as a person that has some real potential to be your next girlfriend, inevitably, you're going to start doing things that you weren't doing before. You're going to start spending more time with her. You're going to start taking her out on more dates. You're going to start doing more non-sexual shit with her. Because that's what people do. When you start building towards or exploring a relationship, you start spending more time together, both sexually and non-sexually, right? That's typically what you do. So if you tell a woman out the gate that you're looking for a girlfriend, guess what she can do? She can pretend. I need guys, hold on real quick. Let me see if I got it. I'm gonna show you something. I'm gonna show you what I mean. And hopefully this will help y'all out. Let me see if I still got it. I saw that shit the other day. All right, give me a second, gentlemen. Give me a second. I know I didn't get rid of this shit. So what I'm looking for, there we go, right there. Right there. You see that? When you tell women that you're looking for a relationship, okay, you're talking to a random chick that you just met. She is a stranger. Why are you talking about relationships with her? She hasn't earned the right to have that type of conversation with you. So when you do that, there's a good chance you can have a chameleon on your hands. Okay? One's behavior passively or unintentionally changes to match that of others in one's current social environment. So if you tell a woman you're looking for a relationship, she is like, okay, what I'll do is I'll camouflage who I really am. I'll play the role of a chameleon, and I'll do the things and say the things that men might expect a woman to say who would be a potential girlfriend. So she might omit certain things about what she does and how she moves, or she might straight out lie, or she just might pretend to be something that she's not because you already told her you're looking for a girlfriend. So now she's on her best behavior. right? She is introducing you to her representative. Why? Because she's trying to play the role of your next would-be girlfriend. So now you have to question how genuine she's being. You have to question how sincere the things that she is saying and doing is. I'll give you another example. NFL and NBA players and hockey players, any type of professional sports player who has name notoriety, where people know who they are, right? Right, and they can Google these guys and find out how much these guys are worth. You know, he just signed a contract, 7 years, 150 million. So women have all of this information about these guys. So if you're one of these guys where you have name notoriety and you're wealthy and people can simply Google your net worth and they see how you living, now you got to question the sincerity of anybody who reacts or anybody who interacts with you. Anybody you don't know who has been being friendly to you, specifically women, now you got to question, is it because of who I am? Is it because she know I got this money? Shout out to Aaron Gordon, basketball player for the Denver Nuggets. Now, I don't know how true this story is, but it was reported that he went out on a date with this chick. And she supposedly, and this is why I question the validity of the story, but she supposedly went out on a date with Aaron Gordon. She went to the bathroom. I guess she left her phone there or whatever, which that don't make no sense. But apparently, you know, if it's true, he saw on the screen Aaron Gordon's net worth. Right? So I said all that to say this. When you're dealing with women, the only information you need to be giving them is enough information to get the job done. Hold on real quick. I saw the homie come up in here. Hold on real quick. Where the fuck did it go? Shout out to the homie Steve, the Dean. Shout out to you, my brother. So I said all that to say this. Now you got this woman, you don't know how sincere or genuine her actions are because you already told her you're looking for a relationship. So now she might just be putting on the front to get the title. And she ain't really feeling you like that. But she doing just enough to eventually get to that title. And then once she gets to that title, what did she do? Switch up on you. This is what I know you guys have heard people argue in relationships. And they complain, oh, that you changed on me. You're not the same person that you initially presented yourself to be. I got news for y'all. People do not change. Let me tell you what people do. People don't change. Look, I digress. Let me not lie to you. The only time you can say somebody changes is if they became addicted to alcohol or drugs, and then they just started fucking up their life. Okay, you might be able to say that person changed. But typically, people don't change. They do one or two things. They either evolve or they show you who they really were the whole time. That's it. They either evolve, mature, and grow, or they just show you who they really were the whole time. You were just so caught up in the euphoria of dealing with somebody new that you ignored the red flags. And you were so caught up in wanting to be booed up, right, that you're talking about shit you shouldn't be talking about. Right? When I very first meet a woman, I don't want to talk about kids. I don't want to talk about marriage. I don't want to talk about relationships. I don't want to talk about none of those things. Because she hasn't earned a position in my life for us to have those type of discussions. So no, we're not talking about none of that. So if a woman was to ask me, which is I don't get this question too often, but you know, every now and again, if a woman wants to ask me what I'm looking for, I'm not looking for anything. I'm not looking for anything. However, now people, what I'm about to say next, I'm not looking for anything. However, what I am in a market for is a woman who knows how to listen. And if you're that woman, I can assure you, you and I are going to get along great. We're going to have pleasurable, memorable experiences. Beyond that, I make you no promises. I never want to give any woman the impression that I'm looking for a relationship. Number one, I'm not. It doesn't mean that I'm opposed to it. It doesn't mean that I'm opposed to a relationship. But she hasn't done enough. She hasn't invested enough for me to have that conversation with her yet. She hasn't, so I'm not going to have it. Right? So I just want y'all to understand that. We got some more questions. Hold on real quick. Let me get these questions. Hold on real quick, y'all. Okay. All right, cool. So let's get to this question. So he says, so basically, if she's not fully showing interest, just let it go and don't try to keep flirting. J. Smith Records. If I have a conversation with a woman for the very first time, if she is not showing any sexual interest, I'm not fucking with her. Okay, listen to what I'm telling you. The very first conversation I have with a woman, if she is not showing any sexual interest. Now, I'm not talking about having sex. That's not what I'm talking about. If she isn't showing any sexual interest out the gate, I'm not fucking with her. For what? It's a waste of my time. Because this is what I know. I know when women are interested in you right away, when you had them at hello, there's a certain way they behave compared to the women that you got to take out on multiple dates and then they start to warm up to you, right? You get two different sets of behaviors. Why would I subject myself to something I don't want? Right? So again, I'm not talking about having sex. I'm talking about showing sexual interest. We don't got to have sex today, but I need to know that she views me that way. I need to know. And here's the thing. Don't let women fool you. It don't take women 2 or 3 dates to determine whether or not they want your dick. It don't take women that long to figure it out. It does not. Women know right away whether or not you are the type of guy they might want to get down with like that. Now, that doesn't mean they're going to have sex with you right away. Look, I've met plenty of women where we met, we had a conversation, there was mutual sexual attraction. I tried to take Shorty home for the night. She told me straight up, can't do it tonight, but I'm free tomorrow. Or I can't do it tonight, but in a couple of days we can get together. Right? So I already know there's sexual interest. Now, whether or not we actually have sex, who's to say? And that's not even the point. The point is not even about the physical act of fucking. That's not the point. The point is, if she ain't feeling me like that, I don't want to fuck with her. I don't want to deal with her. For what? I don't want to be on the phone for an hour one day, then 30 minutes the next day, trying to see if she likes me, trying to see if she's feeling me, dropping all types of indirect hints, hoping she picks up. No, fuck that. I'm not wasting my time doing that. So when you say, yeah, she's not showing full interest, well, here's the thing, right? You have to read the room. You have to gauge what's going on, right? So when you say she's not showing full interest, let it go and don't try to keep flirting. When you're flirting with a woman, especially if there are sexual undertones and overtones, a woman who's feeling you, she's going to engage you. she's gonna be willing to go back and forth with you. She's gonna flirt back, right? If you're flirting with a woman and she isn't really flirting back, you're saying certain things and she isn't verbally responding to what you're saying, but she kind of laughs it off, and then she says something that's completely unrelated to what you said, she ain't feeling you. Because if you say something sexual, like if you utilize a sexual innuendo and you're talking to a woman who views you sexually, she is going to go back and forth with you willfully because she wants it to happen just like you want it to happen. So there's no reason for her to show any resistance because she wants it to happen like you want it to happen. So if you're dealing with a woman and you're trying to flirt and she's resistant to that idea, you need to stop. You need to stop talking to her. Leave her alone, because at some point that could be seen as harassment. See, harassment, a lot of guys think harassment is walking up to a woman and saying some sexual shit. That's not harassment. Harassment is when you say some sexual shit and she is showing you no interest and you continue to say sexual shit. Now you're harassing her, right? So if I walk up to a woman and I say something about sex, I cannot go to jail for that. I cannot. But if she tells me straight up, I don't view you like that, or even if she don't tell me that she don't view me like that, if she's kind of ignoring me, right? And I continue to persist in trying to get sexual, that's harassment. At that point, I can have some problems in my life at that point, right? So you just need to be astute enough and utilize common sense where you can tell if a woman is, because sometimes a woman, she might be playful with you, right? She might be playful, like you might be talking about sex and she might say, you wouldn't know what to do with all of this. You couldn't handle all of this. And she could be, being playful because she likes the jousting back and forth, right? Because sometimes that shit is foreplay to women, right? And you guys to understand that. Sometimes with women, you wouldn't know what to do with all this ass. Sometimes that shit is foreplay because they want to see what you're going to say next. And typically what they want you to say is some dominant shit, right? Oh, girl, you don't know, girl. No, they want you to come get it. Like lead them somewhere in a very dominant, assertive fashion. So sometimes women will be a little playful with it, but that's for you need to be able to interpret what you're seeing, right? So let me get to the next joint. Hold on. Hey, bruh. Hey, all I can do is lead you to the water, right? You say you thirsty. There's some water. I can't make you drink, though. I can't make you drink from it. So he says, if my authentic self is just wanting to smash women, should I tell them that up front? Chiefs again, bro. How long you been listening to me, bro? Guys, if all you want is sex, or if you're mainly motivated. Now, let me just say this about myself. If all a woman got is sex, then that's all I want. Okay, let me say that shit again. If all a woman got is sex, then that's all I want. I don't want nothing else then. But if a woman has more that she is willing to show me, if you will, then it could possibly be more than sex. But that's up to her. So if a woman tells me all you want is just sex, my thing is, if that's all you got, yeah. So if you want me to want more than just sex, show me why. Show me why. Show me why I should date you. Show me why I should spend time with you outside of the bedroom. Show me. And if I like what I see, I might just start doing that shit. But the problem with some women is they want a man, and I hope women are listening. This is for y'all. The problem with some women, and this is why women need game too. The problem with some women is they want a man to not want just sex, but then they want that man to take them out on dates and spend money. Where they do that at? That don't make sense to me. If a woman is telling you, I don't want just sex, you know, I want you to actually date me. So a woman wants you to basically put your desire for sex on the back burner and put her desire to want to be dated at the forefront, and she wants you to pay for everything while you're waiting for sex. I can't understand why guys do that. That makes no sense to me. To me, that's not a good deal. So if a woman wanted me to wait for sex, which I would not wait, but hypothetically speaking, if I was going to wait, so if a woman says, you know, I want you to date me first. All right, cool. You pay for everything then. I'll date you. I'll spend time with you non-sexually. You pay for all of this shit. If I'm going to be waiting for sex and you want me to pay too? No. That makes no sense. So, because my thing to a woman at that point would be, if you want me to want more than just sex, at what point have you shown me the value of you? If I'm waiting to fuck you and I'm paying for everything, at what point are you showing me the value for me to want to date you? What, because you're pretty? And for some women, that's exactly how they look at it. Yes, I'm pretty. I'm pretty, and I know you want this ass. But unfortunately, so many guys are simps and tricks. A lot of women think they can have that type of energy with every guy. And they're like, man, you get the fuck up out of here with that shit. I ain't doing that. So hold on real quick. I just, look, work smarter, not harder. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. And look, I love me some women. I love me some women. But I love me more. You know what I'm saying? I love the energy of women. I love the spirit of women. And if it's the right woman, I love spending time with them. But I love spending time with me more. So if I love spending time with me more, give me a reason why I should share my time with you. Give me a reason. I'm not opposed to sharing it, but give me a reason why I should, though. You can't tell me, oh, I want you to wait and pay for all these dates. Like, nah. That guy right there, he'll do that. he'll do that. When you're ready for me to tap that ass, feel free to call me. So, guys, if you got any questions, please put a Q in the chat, followed by your question. Because your boy ain't gonna be here for too much longer. Let me see, I've been going for almost an hour. So yeah. I got some questions right here. Let's get to these questions. So Chiefs again, yes. And guys, real quick, let me get back to his question, because I want to make sure I'm clear. When you're letting women know that your desire to deal with them is mainly motivated by you being sexually attracted to them, you can present that to them in a very enticing way, right? You don't have to go up to women and use X-rated language. Now, I'm not opposed to that. I have no problem using X-rated language. In fact, I love to use X-rated language, right? But you have to be mindful of when you say certain things, right? You just can't go tap a woman on her shoulder and be like, hey, your ass is fat. I want to fuck you tonight. No, that's dumb. That's stupid as fuck. No, you don't do that, right? You gotta start a real conversation, right? You introduce yourself like a grown-up, right? You get the babe's name. And let me just say this real quick. This is just my personal opinion. Once you get the woman's name, use her name when addressing her. Use it early and often. And the reason why you want to utilize her name early and often is because you want to make the conversation as personable as possible. Right? So an example of that would be this. Like I said, her name is Jessica. Like as soon as she tell me her name is Jessica, I might be like, so Jessica, you here by yourself or you here with a group of friends? And if she says, oh, I'm with a group of friends, they're over there, then I might say, all right, Jessica, so what are you ladies celebrating tonight? So I've already used her name like 2 or 3 times, real quick, right? But again, I'm making it as personable as possible. And here's the thing, and I want guys to understand this. When you very first walk up on a woman and start conversating with them, they're going to look at you. I need guys that they're going to look at you. They're going to see if you're cute. So they're going to look at you. They're going to check you out. So in the midst of checking you out, if they're not all that attracted to you, then they're probably going to be like, But if they think you're cute, they might really study you. They might look you up and down, look at your shoes, your pants, your jacket, your shirt. They're going to check you out. And what they're doing consciously or subconsciously is assessing your sexual desirability. Now, it doesn't mean that they're going to fuck you that night. It doesn't mean that. But you're always being assessed for your sexual desirability. Always. Always. This is why some of you guys, when you walk up on a woman and before you can even get a word out, she shuts you down because she knows instantly he can't have this. Ain't no way I'm letting him fuck me. She already knows. So I want guys to think about that. So if a woman is rejecting you, anytime a woman rejects you, she is saying, I don't want your dick. Every time. It don't matter if it's because you look funny or you dress funny or you're not the right height. It doesn't matter. None of those things matter. The real reason why she's rejecting you is simply this. She doesn't want your dick. That's why she's telling you no, right? So if she's not rejecting you right away and she's actually engaging you in a conversation, that doesn't mean she wants your dick either. So now you need to find out. You need to find out. Is she engaging me simply because she likes the attention? Or is she engaging me because she's already assessed my sexual desirability and she's feeling me? Let me find out which one it is. Let me find out. I need to find out. Is she with it or she just like the attention? And that's where having a mouthpiece comes in, where you can say shit and you can get the answer. That's what having a mouthpiece does. You say what you need to say and you can get the answer, right? And all you're really doing is you're getting a woman to reveal what's on her mind. That's all you're doing. Because you should already know that she knows whether or not she wants to fuck with you or not. So all you're doing is getting her to reveal the truth as far as how she views you. So you can know whether or not to keep dealing with her or to leave her alone. It's really that simple. All right, let's get to the next question. So he says, I had to charge the chick for calling me an hour and a half after I said to call me. Calling me when she wanted to is a fireable offense, right? Yes. In the very, very beginning, yes. Most definitely. Look, let me tell y'all something, okay? And I hope women are listening. Again, when you very first meet women, okay, even if you're not looking for a relationship, right? And I'll use myself as an example again, right? You know, when I was married, when I was in relationships, I was never looking to be married. I was never looking to be in any relationships. But it just so happened that the women I was dealing with, they changed my mind. Right? They changed my mind. And I said all that to say this. This is why in the very beginning, even if you think it's just going to be a sexual encounter and nothing more, you need to be on your P's and Q's. You need to make sure that whatever standards you have, that they are applicable to every type of interaction you have with women, whether it's a casual interaction, whether you're dating them for a while, whether it's a girlfriend, fiance, wife. Okay, your standards need to be applicable to all of those different relationships, right? Because you need to make sure that you set the tone for how you want things to be, because that same chick that you're fucking, she could be your girlfriend one day. She could be your wife one day. So If you're not on your P's and Q's in the beginning, and you decide to make her your girl, and you run a loose ship and you're inconsistent, all of that shit is going to come back to haunt you later on down the road. So if you let her get away with little shit now, it's going to be big shit later. So Raymond Barnett, if you let her get away with an hour and a half now, it's going to be 24 hours later. Right? You tell her, call me at this time. Call me at 12 o'clock. Noon. Because you let her get away with the hour and a half, she going to call you the next day at 10 a.m. That's usually how that works. Right? Where people feel like they can get away with shit. Okay, and it could be conscious or subconscious because you let that shit slide. So if I tell a woman, call me at 1 p.m., call me at 1 p.m. If you, look, here's the thing. If you have to call me later, if something comes up, and this is how you know how invested a woman is in you, right? And how much she's feeling you. If you tell her to call you at 1 p.m. and something comes up where she can't call you until 3, guess what she's going to do? She's going to call you early. She's either going to call you earlier or she's going to text you and tell you, hey, something came up. I'm not going to be available at 1. I won't be free until 3. Is that okay? That's the type of energy you need to be getting. Right? You need to get that type of energy. So yeah, bro, Raymond, I was dating this chick and for 2 consecutive weeks, when I went to pick her up for a date, she was literally 1 or 2 minutes late answering the door. Yeah, y'all probably looking like 1 or 2 minutes. Damn, this motherfucker tripping. Yeah, 1 or 2 minutes. The first time I told her, hey, when I tell you I'm gonna be here by a certain time, be ready. The second time when it happened, I just left her. I literally walked. I just walked away from her crib. She opened the door, calling my name. I kept on walking, right? Didn't take her out. And I didn't talk to her until the next day, right? And I had to do that, right? And I was willing for her to walk away, right? She could have easily said, I'm not fucking with Carrie no more. When I walked away and ignored her. And I got in my car and drove off, and she was calling me all night, texting me, and I didn't read the text messages. I didn't listen to the voicemails, none of that. And then the very next morning when I woke up, I just called her, right? She could have easily said, I'm not fucking with him. But I was willing to risk that to make my point. And the point is, value my motherfucking time. Value my time. Because if I would have let it go, that minute or 2 minutes would have turned into 5 minutes. That 5 minutes would have turned into 15 fucking minutes. And I can't have that. I can't have her coming into my life just doing what the fuck she want to do. So hey man, you gotta let it go, bro. You gotta let it go. I want a woman who comes correct out the gate and she understands the assignment. Jazzy Jazz with the 5. Hi Zach, how you doing? Shout out to you, sir. I'm doing well. I see you got your lips puckered up in that picture. So I'm gonna assume that's for me. Okay, even if it's not, I'm gonna assume it's for me. Appreciate the $5, baby girl. So guys, I want guys to understand something. Because sometimes when people might hear me, they might get the wrong impression, right? And you being non-flexible with how you move is for both you and the woman. It's really for both of y'all, right? Because if you, as a man, if you say, I don't want no drama in my life, I don't want no issues in my life, right? If you have standards, you're going to give the same courtesy to the woman. So if you say as a man, I don't want no drama in my life, I don't want no disruption to my life, you're going to provide or afford the same courtesy to the woman. You're going to say, I don't want to bring no drama to her life. I don't want to be a disruption in her life. So if she calls me and she wants to come over and I tell her come over at 8, I'm going to be home by 8. If she says, Carrie, I want to see you. Can you come over and see me tonight at 9 o'clock? And I tell her 9, I'm going to be there at 8:55. Right? Because I'm a man of my word. Right? So I'm going to show her that I'm a man of my word. I'm going to show her that I can be punctual and all of that. I'm gonna show her that by my actions, right? And if she's really feeling me, she's gonna notice that. Guys, when a woman is really feeling you, women study you. I need guys to understand that. When women are really, really feeling you, they literally study you. They study you. Like I had this woman I was dating one time, and I didn't even notice that she noticed. But when we got into a relationship, and I would go visit her, and even after we started living together, she started doing something that I never told her to do. She started putting a beer mug in a freezer so it can get frosted, right? Because she noticed that when she would come visit me, I would have a frosted beer mug. Or when we would go out, she noticed that I would request a frosted beer mug. So she studied that, and she started doing that on her own, right? So what I'm saying is when a woman is really, really feeling you, they study you, and they want to make your life pleasant. And when they are around you, they want to make, they want to be as pleasant as possible because they are enjoying you. They are enjoying the time that you're giving them, and they don't want to fuck it up. I need guys to understand that. So hold on real quick. Let me see, I'll get to all these questions. Give me a second. Okay, all right, there we go right there. So the homie says, Coach Zag, if she knows before the date whether she's sexually attracted to you, does that mean that I can gauge her interest before we even start the date or go into the place and spend money? Well, here's the thing. I've met women that I was, where they were sexually attracted to me right away, and I still offered a date. A couple of times, right? I did that. Where I probably could have tried to take them home, but I didn't. I didn't want to at that time. So I offered a date, and then we had sex that date, right? So although I'm sexually attracted to that woman and she's sexually attracted to me, I don't necessarily have to have sex with her that same night, right? The fact that I know that she's sexually attracted to me is good enough for me. I'm good to go. I'm straight. I don't have to have sex with her today, right? But the fact that she's feeling me in that regard, I'm good. So I know she is worthy of my time now, right? So I know when we see each other, that same sexual energy that we both displayed when we first met, it's going to be a continuation of that on a second date. And then it's going to elevate from there, right? So I would say this. This is what I would tell you. If you set up a date and you realize before the date that the woman is down to have sex, I would tell you still go out on a date anyway. Right? Right? Let me tell you why. Let me tell you why I say that. Because I want you guys to get out of the habit of setting up dates because you think that's what the woman wants. Okay, I want you to get out of that habit of setting up a date because that's the only way you think you can get to the sex, right? I want you to get into the habit of setting up the date because you really want to go out and you really want this woman to join you. Like when I would set up dates, specifically for women I hadn't had sex with yet, I really wanted to go out and I really wanted her company. I really wanted her to join me on this fucking date, right? You know what I'm saying? So I wasn't pressed for the sex because I already knew that the sexual attraction was mutual, right? So even if she would have said, we ain't got to do the date, we could just get to the fucking, I would have been like, nah, girl, we doing this date because I want to do it. I really want to go to this place that I told you about. And your ass is going to come with me and you'll get the dick later. Right? And that's exactly what I would tell her. Your ass, just like that. Your ass is going to come with me and you're going to like it. You'll get this dick later. That's exactly what I would tell her. So if you're setting up a date and a woman tells you let's fuck now and you don't do the date, all that means is you never wanted to do it in the first place. So get away from that. Get away from doing shit you don't want to do just to appease women. Don't do that. Don't be that guy. Okay, so just make your life easier. That's all. Look, that's all. Make your life easier. If you make your life easier, the women that come into your life that are meant to be there, they're going to assimilate with that. They're going to go with the flow of that instead of against the grain. And everything is going to be lovely. No issues. Okay, even if you guys don't work out and maybe she wants a relationship and you don't, even then, it still can be peaceful. It can be amicable. It can be like, hey, Carrie, look, I'm going to be honest with you. I've been seeing this other guy and, he wants to date me seriously. And, as much as I care about you, as much as I enjoy spending time with you, that's something that I really want. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to explore that. And I'm going to give her a hug and a kiss, pat her on the ass. Good luck. I hope that works out for you. If anything changes, you have my number. Reach out. Just like that. And I've dealt with women just like that, where there was another guy they were seeing who wanted to give them the girlfriend title or whatever. I didn't at that time. The women dipped out. We hugged it out. It was very, very peaceful. A couple months later, the chick, hey, girl, bring your ass by here. I don't even ask him what happened with the other guy. I just say, girl, bring your ass by here. Like it's nothing. It's all good. Like if she wants to go find love someplace, or she wants to find something that I'm not giving her, I don't mind her seeking it somewhere else. I'm not mad at that. Again, that's another thing. Free will. Give women free will. If you want to uncomplicate your life, give women free will. Stop sweating what these women are doing. Yo, check this out. I did a video talking about this on my old channel as well. There was a guy who went out on a date with this woman. He went out on a date. He had just met this woman. They never had sex, none of that. They went out on a first date. So after the date, they were texting each other. This was after the date. The same day after the date, they were texting each other. And he asked her via text, so what are you about to do? What are you getting into? And she told him, I'm about to go out on another date. See, some of y'all might hear that and be like, what the fuck? If I heard that, it wouldn't bother me at all. Okay, so she went out on a date with me at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. She's going out on a second date with another guy at 5 o'clock in the afternoon. What the fuck that got to do with me? That's none of my business. She ain't my woman. I could care less. I could care less. Okay, and I hope he's feeding her, because I'm not. I hope to God he's taking her to a restaurant. Because I'm gonna cheer him on, but hey, keep feeding her, dog, because I'm not. Right? So, but my point is, you have guys like in the video that I did that's no longer up. You know what I'm saying? Maybe I still got it somewhere. The guy was upset. He was mad at the chick. And I'm like, why are you mad at her? Give her free will. Guys, the main reason why you want to give a woman free will is because you want to see what she really wants to do, right? I don't want a woman to be beholden to me. I don't want a woman to feel a sense of obligation to me. I don't want her to feel that way. I want a woman, whatever she does, I want her to do it with a smile on her face. I want her to do it with joy in her voice. I don't want her to do nothing because she feels pressured because of how I'm coming at her. No, I want her to do it and have fun doing it. If she's cooking for me, I want her to fucking whistle while she works. If she's folding some clothes and hanging that shit for me, I want her to enjoy that shit. But you have too many guys that have these unrealistic dating expectations that put these pressures on these chicks. Let these chicks do them, right? And if she is going out with another guy and she tells you that, maybe she isn't the woman you should invest so much of your feelings into then. You can still fuck with her though. Right? You don't got to get upset and be like, I ain't fucking with you no more. You going out with another guy. And here's the funny part. There's going to be a lot of other women who do the same thing that she's doing. They're just not telling you. Right? So here's the thing. I want guys to think about this. There is something to be said about a woman who tells you the truth, even if it makes you feel some kind of way. There is something to be said about a woman who tells you, oh, I'm about to go out on another date. Now, I will say this. If she's actually telling you that, there is a real good chance she might not be feeling you that much. I'm just saying, right? I'm just saying there's a real good chance she might not be feeling you that much if she tells you that. If she tells you she's going out on another date. Let me explain what I mean. So one of my exes, and I told this story before, one of my exes was telling me a story, right? About, this is when she was single before we met, of course. But she was telling me a story of how she had a date set up with this guy. And then she ended up canceling the date. So she's telling me the story, and I'm like, you canceled the date. So, you know, what did you do? Did you tell the guy? So she goes on to tell me, she said, well, what happened was I set up the date and I was going to go. But this guy that I had met before him that I was really, really feeling, he called me finally, and he wanted to see me on the exact day and time that the other guy set up the date for. So she didn't flake, meaning she flaked. She did flake, but it wasn't a no call, no show. So what she did was the first guy who set up the date, she actually called him and told him the truth. She said, look, I appreciate the fact that you invited me out, but there's a guy that I really, really, really like. He called me and I'm going to be seeing him that night. So she actually called him and told him that shit. And I asked her, I said, the guy that you called and canceled the date, how did he react to that? She said he was cool about it. The guy had told her, all right, girl, hey, if that's the guy that you're really feeling and you want him and he wants to fuck with you, girl, go get him. And then they hung up, and that was the last time they talked. And she told me that story, and I was like, that's the guy who she canceled the date on when he said, all right, no problem, go do your thing, girl. I'm like, that's how a man handles it. Okay, even if you're disappointed, you don't get all mad and then you, oh, fuck you, bitch. Oh, fuck that. That's fucked up. No, you don't. But the average guy probably would react like that in many cases. No, girl, go do your thing. I'm not mad at you. Because he understands that's not my woman. That's not my woman. You know, I'm not entitled to her telling that guy no and only fucking with me. That's not my woman, right? That's why you give women free will so they can show you what they would rather be doing. And once they show you what they would rather be doing, then you can make a decision whether or not that's a chick for you or not. But don't get mad at it, right? Don't get mad at it. But like, all right, good luck to you. I hope it works out for you. Now, this is what I would tell you, though. If y'all were ever in that situation where a woman is calling you to cancel the date, you cannot let her come back. You can't let her come back. You cannot let her come back at that point. You know what I'm saying? Not if she's telling you that she's canceling the date to see another guy. So let's say a month or two later, she calls you, hey, I'm just seeing what you're up to. Nah, girl, no. You had your opportunity. Guys, give women an opportunity. Give them one. Now, if it's a situation where you try to make sex happen and she ain't with it that night and you tell her, hey, well, when you're ready, you know what I'm saying? You got the number, give me a call. That's different. But when a woman dismisses you for another guy, nah, you can't come back. You know what I'm saying? Let me tell y'all a story. Years and years and years ago, and I don't know if I told the story before. I don't know. Maybe I have. Right? And here's my disclaimer before I tell the story. Don't fuck with chicks at work, y'all. And if you do, there's a way to do it. There's a way to do it without getting caught up. So I was working for this company, and there was this chick. There was this chick that was working there. And I wanted to smash, right? So I approached her, I had a conversation with her, and I didn't talk about sex or nothing like that, because you never talk about sex at work, right? If you want to get at a woman on some sex shit, do that shit away from work. Have her call you off the clock away from work and then talk about that shit. Never talk about that shit at work, right? So, I tried to get at Shorty, and, she politely declined, right? So what I found out was there was 2 guys that I worked with. Both of them were smashing her at the same time. Both these guys were friends, and both of them were smashing this chick at the same time. And all 3 of them knew about it, right? But they were all smashing at the same time, right? So after I hit on her and I found out that those guys was hitting, I wasn't mad or anything. I just said, oh, okay. Well, she's getting plenty of dick, so she probably felt like she's straight, right? So I left it alone, right? So a couple of months later, both of those guys, they either got fired or they quit. And so they were no longer working there. So a couple of months later, she approaches me. And she asks me, she mentions the fact that I hit on her a couple months back. And she basically insinuates, hey, if you're still interested, maybe we can make something happen. And I told her no. I said, nah, I'm good, right? And I couldn't hit. But I'm saying, I don't want to fuck you. I don't want to fuck you no more, right? And the reason why I didn't want to fuck you no more is because, hey, when I gave you an opportunity and you turned it down, only for me to find out there's 2 other niggas fucking you, man, don't. And the only reason you coming to me now is because they're no longer working here, so you're not getting the attention that they were giving you when they were here. So now you're coming to me to get that attention that left. Hell no. No. Baby girl, you had your chance. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of guys, when you turn down some pussy that you can have, it gives you a new perspective, right? And you learn to actually value your time, value your dick, and you also learn to understand if you give a woman an opportunity and she turns it down, it's her loss. It's not yours. It's her loss. It's not my loss. It's her loss. She missed out, right? And you need to look at it that way. Every single woman, you need to look at it like, if a woman rejects you, it's her loss. Like a lot of guys, they take rejection personally. Like I've heard guys say rejection hurts, rejection stings. You acting like it's your loss because that woman told you no. How is it your loss? What does she have to offer you? You don't know that woman. You don't know if she's, she would have been a good sexual partner for you. You don't know. So how do you feel hurt or stung because a woman told you no? But if you actually value yourself and you think you got something to offer, you should feel like she missed out. I'm that guy. Okay, any woman that fuck with me, you know what I'm saying? She's gonna have a very enjoyable time with me. So she missed out on that. So why would you feel hurt? You should be looking at her like, I feel sorry for you. You dealing with all this riffraff out here, right? You should be looking at her like that. But anyway, let me get to the next joint. Okay. Should you delete women's numbers? I don't delete women's numbers. I don't delete it for what? I don't. The only time I would delete a woman's number is if she was on some disrespectful shit. If she was disrespectful and I'm no longer fucking with her, I'll delete it then. But outside of that, I don't delete women's numbers. Bro, I can't tell you how many women's numbers I got on my phone from years ago. I'm not calling them, right? But I still got their numbers, right? I don't delete shit unless the parting of ways was tumultuous. Okay, then and only then am I deleting shit. Right? So, but Chiefs, again, if you set up a date with a chick and she flake on you, yeah, you need to delete her number right now. Right? You don't fuck with chicks that disrespect you. So the homie says, did you say in the Saturday show that you shouldn't mess with a girl that lives in your apartment building, or is there a way you should do that? So there were 2 occasions where I dealt with women who are my neighbors. Two situations. And I didn't like how neither one of those situations ended. And I'm not going to get into a lot of detail. One situation, it was my fault. You know what I'm saying? It was my fault that it turned out the way that it turned out and all that. Now, we had sex and all that, but it was my fault that it turned into what it turned into. So that was my fault, right? The second time, what, am I doing it in order? No, I got the order messed up. Okay, so the second time, I fucked up. The first time, see, and this is another reason why I don't deal with chicks that live with their parents, right? So at the time, I was, how old was I? Was I 20? Yeah, I was 20 years old. I was in the military. I was in the military at the time. And I had just got an apartment off base. And I ran into this chick, and the attraction was instantaneous. The sexual attraction was boom, there. Right? Both neighbor chicks, it was automatic sexual attraction. But my point is, and I'll tell a little bit about that story. The second one, I'm not going to get into, but the first one, I met her by the mailbox, and we had a conversation, and I told her, I said, look, I just moved in. I live in apartment such and such. Why don't you come by and you can help me christen the place? You'll be my first guest. Right? That's exactly what I told her. I said, come by, help me christen the place. You'll be my first guest. And she came by, and we did what we did. And maybe about the second or third time, we were in the crib. And at the time, I think I had a 2-bedroom crib. And one of my brothers, one of my younger brothers, he was staying with me. Him and one of his friends were staying with me. And they were knocking on my bedroom door saying, Carrie, yo, man, there's some old people out here. We think it might be her parents. So now this chick, she was like 19. I want to make it clear. I was 20, she was like 19, right? But she was still living with her parents. So her parents were knocking at my fucking door. You know what I'm saying? So I'm trying to figure out. So I'm looking at her, like, we in my room. So I'm looking at her like, how in the fuck do your parents even know I live here? Did you tell them my apartment number? Right? So that was the last time. I said, I can't fuck you no more. Like that. What the fuck you telling people where I live at and shit, right? So, but it's more to it than that. So the neighbor chick thing, the reason why I think most guys wouldn't be built to deal with a neighbor chick is because would you be cool if you saw another dude or other men rolling up in there? Or will you get possessive and all jealous and shit? Right? And also, if you're dealing with other women, do you know how to manage the situation where the neighbor chick knows you got other women? Because if you're dealing with a neighbor, it's inevitable. If you're dealing with other women, she gonna see them. If she's dealing with other men, you might see them. That's probably gonna happen, right? So do you have enough game to navigate that situation where it don't turn into something goofy? Right? So for me, I prefer not to deal with neighbor chicks simply because I know how clingy some women can get. And I don't need a woman who lives next door to me to be clingy, or a woman who lives down the way. I don't need a woman who's that close to me that I see on a regular basis. I don't need her getting clingy. I don't need that shit, right? So if I was to ever deal with a neighbor chick, it would have to, I don't know. I'm very reluctant. And trust me, I come across women that I live next to, they with it. They about it. But I'm like, and she cute too. She pretty. She got a nice little body on her. But I can't fuck her because I don't want this to turn into something else. Right? So me having dick discipline, although I probably could hit it, I don't want the potential drama. So all I would say is, if you're gonna fuck with a neighbor chick, use caution. Just use caution. That's all I'll say about that. So let's real quick, about to wrap this shit up. Okay, I just want to make sure that we got all the questions. Okay, so that's it, y'all. Hey, like, share, and subscribe. Again, women require the least from the men they like the most. Guys, you should know what you want from these women. Okay, you should already know. Okay, and when I say already know, if you just want sex, you should know that. If you don't mind dating the woman, you should know that you don't mind. You should know what you want, right? And everything you say and or do should be catered to what you want. So you should know how to cultivate the experience you want. So both you and the woman mutually benefit from that experience. But you should know how to do that, right? The point is pulling it off without creating unnecessary drama. Okay, the point is pulling it off without dealing with a woman who wants you to chase her down and run behind her, right? Deal with women who make it easy. I know some of you guys probably like a challenge and shit. This is what I would say to you guys that like a challenge. Like Tupac once said, okay, I don't want it if it's that easy, right? If you want to make it a challenge for yourself, if you know she wants to fuck you, don't fuck her right away. Let her wait for the dick. If you guys are hell bent on making shit a challenge for yourself, deal with a woman who's sexually attracted to you and let it marinate. And then break her off later on, right? But please get away from dealing with women that ain't really fucking with you. Because if you look at all of these guys complaining on the internet, it's just a bunch of bitter motherfuckers. Because they don't know how to handle women. They don't know how to handle themselves when it comes to women. All they did was complicate their lives, and they allowed disruptive women into their lives. If a woman is telling you, guys, if you want to fuck, and a woman is telling you she ain't that kind of girl, leave her alone. If she tells you I'm practicing abstinence, but you ain't, leave her alone. If she says you got to get to know me first, you got to date me, leave her alone. Oh, you're bold, sir. You're moving a little too fast. We're going to have to slow down. Leave her alone. Just leave them alone. But this is what guys do. You know what? I think she kind of likes me. I mean, she was showing me some interest. Maybe I should acquiesce a little bit. Make her a little more comfortable. No, I'm comfortable. I'm comfortable right now. It ain't my fault that she ain't comfortable. I'm comfortable right now. So if I'm comfortable right now, that means I need to deal with a woman who is also comfortable right now. Name of the game, operative word, compatibility, which means to exist in harmony without conflict. If a woman isn't following your lead, there's conflict. If a woman is being uncooperative, there's conflict. If you want to do something at a certain pace and she ain't trying to do it your way at your pace, there is conflict. The problem with a lot of people right now, there are people who are married, engaged to be married, in girlfriend-boyfriend relationships, or people who are dealing with each other, just generally speaking, who aren't compatible. They're not compatible, and they're so goofy, they don't understand. You wonder why you're arguing with that person all the time. All that arguing comes from the fact that you're not compatible. And this is what you guys do. This is what you do. You make accommodations and concessions to try and make yourself compatible with the woman. I need you guys to understand that. Shout out to Jazzy Jazz. Appreciate you, baby girl. Thank you. Yes, you are, ma'am. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. Hey. Appreciate you. But when you acquiesce to a woman, or you capitulate, or you kind of follow her a little bit and you do it her way, you're not compatible. The fact that you have to go from not being able to do it your way to doing it her way, you're automatically incompatible now because you're having to do all of that. You're not compatible. You're literally taking a square peg and putting it into a round hole. And you wonder why you're bumping heads with the woman because you're not compatible. Like, this ain't hard to tell. That's why if I meet a woman and I tell her, oh, you sexy as fuck. Look, I'm trying to take you home tonight. And she says, sir, you're going to have to date me first. We're going to have to go out on a few dates, sir. We are instantaneously incompatible right now. We're not compatible. So if I acquiesce to her and I say, okay, and I go to do it her way, take her out on multiple dates, we're still not compatible. Although I'm doing it her way, we're still not compatible. But in a lot of guys, in your mind, you think you're compatible because you guys are still interacting. No, you're not compatible. You're not. Because if you were, she would defer to you and she would follow you. Whatever it is you want to do, she's with it. Right? Nobody should feel like they're giving too much of themselves. Like, the woman should be 100% comfortable in the arrangement you set forth. And you should be 100% comfortable. That means you're compatible. Two people who are compatible get along well. But when you got one person who don't want to fuck, because they're not all that sexually attracted to that person, but the other person is sexually attracted to him, you're already not compatible. You're not compatible. You want to fuck her, she don't want to fuck you. Why are you fucking with her? Come on, man. This ain't hard to tell. So Miss Jazzy Jazz says, so why do people make it a point to try and meet a woman on their level and not live by their own means? Because guys think women are better than them. Most guys think women are better than them. That's why. Most guys think women are better than them. Not only that, but most guys, they value the wrong thing. Meaning I don't value beauty. I don't value sex. Look, sex to me is a physical act that feels good. That's it. The real purpose of sex is to procreate. Right? To bring life. That's the truth for me personally. That's the real purpose of sex is to procreate. As human beings, we decide to make it all of this other shit. When people talk about soul ties and sex is sacred and all that, you made it like that. You decided to look at sex like, I don't care what the Bible says either. You still decided, you made a conscious choice to view sex a certain way. But if you just look at the biology of what sex is, it's to procreate. If you look at the purpose of the female genitalia and the male genitalia, there's two functions. The first function is to have sex to bring forth life. The second function is to discard liquid waste. That's it. So God was sitting there. God was like, you know, I'm about to create these human beings, but I need to make sure that I give them the right equipment so they can bring forth life. Oh, and by the way, since they need to eat to sustain themselves, I have to find a way to devise some exits in their bodies known as holes to discard waste. I know what I'll do. The penis will be used to enter the woman to create life, and he can pee from it. The vagina will be used to be entered by the man to create life, and she can pee from it. That's it. The simple biology of the female-male genitalia, simple biology of sex is to bring forth life. All of this extra shit that humans put on it, that's just your personal choice to make sex what it is for you, right? So sex for me, beyond bringing forth life, and I'm a father, so I value that part of sex, right? So if you want to be a father or a mother, you know what I'm saying, then yeah, sex has value in that regard because you got to have it to bring forth life. Now, beyond that, sex has no value to me. A woman's beauty has no value to me. What does have value to me is her character. What does have value to me is the way that she treats herself and the way that she treats me, right? Because I don't want a woman who mistreats herself. Because if I'm dealing with a woman who doesn't care about herself, she ain't gonna care about me, right? So how she conducts herself in my life, in my physical presence, I value that. I value that, right? The sex shit is like, it's whatever, right? It's not that serious for me. For y'all, it might be different, but for me, it's not that serious, right? This is why I don't stress over the body count shit, right? Because it's like, all I need to know is this. First and foremost, don't lie to me, right? Never lie to me. But I also give women free will. Girl, do what you want. You're not my, now, if me and you are talking about being serious, then you know, I'm gonna make sure that how you move in your life is in alignment with what we got going on, and that what you're doing in your personal life doesn't carry over to my life and bring disruption. As long as what you're doing in your personal life don't impact my life or what we got going on, baby girl, do you. I could care less. Right? All I need to know, when we have, look, guys, for all you body count niggas, when I ease up in a woman, when I see her top lip curl up and I hear her grunt, it's a nice tight fit. It don't matter how many guys she had before me, because my shit fit right. It fit right. Now, if your shit is just slipping and sliding and you ain't hitting no walls, then, brother, you might have to make a different decision. But when you ease up in it and she grunting and she moving back and she respond to you, all I know is it fit like it need to fit. Right? So once we have sex, if we have great sexual chemistry, what the fuck do I care about who she did before me? Like, what does it matter? All that matters is when we get to the sex, I love it. That's all. So she says, so when two become one, that is your views on a man and woman becoming one body, one mind, one way? Well, when we talk about one, see, I look at it as like a symbiotic. Like if you think about the movie Venom, where it's basically they have a symbiotic situation, right? So when I think about a symbiotic relationship, I think about a man and a woman who are so in sync with each other. They're on the same wavelength. They're so in sync with each other, right? So when you talk about one body, one mind, one way, I think about it that way, where a woman is so into me that she's feeling whatever I'm putting down. It don't mean that I'm perfect though. Like, you know, she might not like that I don't put the toilet seat down or whatever the fuck, right? But my point is that there's great synergy. Great, we get along. It's kind of like when you meet somebody and you know them for like a week, but you felt like you know them forever because the way y'all hit it off, the way you bounce off of each other is just. But also the long term, like if you're dealing with a person for an extended period of time, you know, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 months, and that synergy, that symbiotic nature you guys have to your relationship is still there. Right? So to me, you know, that's how I look at it. So when you said, when two become one, what is your view on man and one become one body? Yeah, it's just we're on the same page. It's kind of like the woman is an extension of you. If a woman is truly following you, right? But it goes back to what we always talk about. A woman has to actually admire you, right? A woman has to admire you. She has to feel like that she's learning something from you. That dealing with you enhances her somehow. And it don't necessarily got to be monetarily, but she feel like dealing with you is an enhancement to her life somehow, right? So the fact that that enhancement is there, the fact that she feels that sense of admiration for you, right? It's in her best interest to be in alignment with you. It's in her best interest to assimilate to what you got going on because it serves her, right? This is why I say, for me personally, any interaction I have with a woman, I got to win. I got to win. And it's her choice if she wants to win too. Now listen to what I'm saying. Any interaction I have with a woman, I got to feel like I'm winning, right? Meaning I'm getting something out of it, right? But I don't necessarily believe I got to do that at her expense, though. However, she can win too. All she got to do is take her hands off the reins and let me quarterback it. Let me take the reins from you. I got it, baby. Hey, look, I'm not going to lead you astray. I'm not here to manipulate you, deceive you, mislead you. I'm not here to do any of that. I'm here to bring joy. I'm here to bring joy. Now, whether or not you want that joy, just let me know and we can go from there. But take your hands off the rein and let me quarterback this shit. Let me lead this shit, right? And if a woman feels like you that dude, she's going to do it. Go ahead, daddy. You got it. Because wherever you leading us, I want to be there, right there with you, shoulder to shoulder. So that's it, guys. That's all I got. I'm going to go ahead and get up out of here. Oh, there was one more question. I'm going to get you one more question. Was there a question? I think you asked a question. Somebody asked a question. I saw a question pop the fuck up. Where did I see it at? Ask your question real quick, homie. What's your name? Right. Yeah. Ask it right quick. Yeah, ask it. Did you ask it already? I could have sworn something popped up with your name with a Q next to it. Maybe that was Jazz. And I'm just seeing things and shit. Bro, ask your question. Do it now, bro, so I can go. I got this cigar calling me, and I got this NBA basketball calling me. Bro, ask your question. Oh, there we go. All right, let's get it. So I said, if all you want is sex, should you just tell the woman after I introduce myself and then leave? No. Okay, bro. Okay. Guys. You can let a woman know that you're interested in sex. But you don't do that right after. You don't say, I'll use Jazz as an example. If I met Jazz at a bar and I walked up to Jazz and I walked up to her and I said, "Excuse me, miss," and she turns around. "My name is Carrie. What might your name be?" And she says, "Oh, my name is Jazz." Right? I'm not going to say, "Hey, Jazz, I just want to have sex with you." I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. And the reason why I'm not going to do that, okay? Well, there's a couple of reasons I'm not going to do that. But one of the reasons why I'm not going to go in that quickly is because I need to give her time. Okay, what did I tell you guys earlier? Anytime you walk up to a woman and you start talking to her, you're being assessed for sexual desirability. I need to give her time to assess me a little bit, right? I need to, because I just walked up on her. I need to give her time to look at all of this, man. I need to give her time to look at me from head to toe and back up. I need to give her time to take it all in. You know what I'm saying? And then once she takes it all in the midst of conversating, then we can get to that. But I need for her to take it all in, right? I need for her to take the pheromones from the cologne in. I need for her to look at the teeth and my teeth straight and white. I need her to look at all of this and take it in. I can't just go in too quick. She ain't have enough time to really look at you yet, and you already talking about fucking her. Give her some time to adjust to a new man in her face. Give her a couple of minutes at least, right? 2-3 minutes, 4 or 5 minutes, and then get into that. But give her a little bit. Guys, shout out to Lucario. He say all the time, Stop talking at women. Okay, you telling a woman, hey, I just want to fuck you. You're talking at her. No, talk to her. Include her in the conversation. It's almost like you're having a conversation with yourself. Talk to the woman and include her in the conversation. You know, that's it. So you're talking about how to handle rejection. There's nothing to handle. Okay, Chiefs again and Darren, I saw it. There's nothing to handle. A woman has a right to say, I don't want your dick. That's all. Guys, you can't fuck every woman you're attracted to. It's impossible. I don't care how good looking you think you are, how much money you got, how famous you are. No man fucks every woman he wants to fuck. It's never going to happen. Every man gets told no. It happens. Some men get told no more than others. Hey, guys, life ain't fair. There are guys on a planet who will always have sex more than you. There are guys on this planet who will always get better looking women than you. There are guys on this planet who it will always be easier for them than you. It is what it is. Don't be mad at it. Just adapt. Adapt. What I mean by adapt is if you're having trouble, look at yourself. Mind first, your mentality first, inside, then out. Look at yourself and say, okay, what can I change to make me feel better about myself? Let's not even think about the woman. Forget about the woman for a moment. What can I change where I can feel better about myself? Look, let me tell y'all something. There are times when I'm getting ready to go out. And I'm in the mirror and I'm making sure that everything is the clothes is hanging right and the accessories is right. And I'm just making sure that I look presentable. And I'm looking in the mirror at myself. And I say to myself, you a sexy ass motherfucker. Right? And I leave and I go up and I go out. Right? So I said all that to say this. What can you do to feel good about yourself? Right? When you go out into the world, your mindset as a man should be, I am an attractive man. There are women out there who want me. I haven't met them yet. I don't know who all of them are yet, but I am an attractive man. There are women out there who not only want me, but there are women out there who are going to want me. So let me go out there and present myself, and I'm going to encounter women who want me. The problem with you guys, when you say, how do you handle rejection? You're speaking as if that's not, I'm beyond that. I'm beyond that. I'm going somewhere else, bro. I answered the question, but I'm going beyond that. Right? Let me cook. Right? So your thing is, you should understand that that particular woman, although you fancy yourself an attractive man, you're not her cup of tea. You're not attractive to her. Okay, just because I think I'm attractive doesn't mean that every woman is going to agree with that. It doesn't, and they're not supposed to. But and here's the thing, guys: a woman could be telling you no because she doesn't like men. A woman could be telling you no simply because she has a man. You don't know. So it doesn't matter why a woman is telling you no. The answer is still no. So just move on. That's it. Like when you say handle rejection, that kind of irritates my soul a little bit, because that tells me that you're bothered by rejection. And you shouldn't be. So this is what you got to understand. Chiefs again, or anybody else who got issues with rejection. You're making a conscious decision to let rejection bother you. That's a choice. That's a choice. You're making it a choice. Look, let me tell y'all something. When I was younger, I had a horrible, horrible temper. And it was very easy. I was very easily angered, where I would want to fight. People can say words to me, just meaningless words, and I'm ready to fight behind words, right? And then I got to a point where I asked myself, why the fuck do I allow words from people who I don't know anger me like this, right? So I had to make a conscious decision to say never again. Never would I allow these words from people I don't know to anger me to the point where I'm ready to fucking do harm to somebody. Like, I had to make that decision. Right? That was a conscious choice. You know, I didn't eat some miraculous food one day and it just stopped. No, I had to make a conscious decision to say, I would never let that bother me again. And to this day, words like that don't bother me. To this day, I'm chill. I don't got no issues. I'm not bothered by people's words like that. I still might curse people out here and there on the live stream. But beyond that, away from YouTube, when I go out in the real world, I don't have no trouble with nobody, right? But I made a conscious choice to say I'm not going to let meaningless shit bother me. So when you talk about rejection, that's a choice. Okay, you're choosing to be emotional. Okay, that means you're not a disciplined man. Okay, I need you guys to understand that. If you allow your emotions to get the best of you, that means you're not a disciplined man. Not only that, but it speaks volumes of how fragile your mentality is and how weak you are emotionally to allow a woman that you don't know affect your mood because she told you no. And on that note, I'm getting the fuck up out of here. Like, share, and subscribe. Hey, Saturday, Manhood is the Skill Set Show, 12:30 Central Standard Time, 1:30 Eastern. Fuck with your boy. Like, share, and subscribe. I'm out.